Hello, everyone. This is the Prosperous Money Mindset. My name is Barbara Badalotti, and I am co-hosting with,
Carol Ebert.
so you can see Carol on the screen as well. So thank you all for being here, whether you are listening to the recording, watching this, or live. So thank you so much. We're going to cruise through this and give you an overview of what we're going to be offering in the 4-week series that starts July 11th and runs through August 1st of 2018. You might be watching this in 2019 or in a future time. So right now, this is when the live recording will be in the live series. So train your brain for unlimited wealth. That is what we're doing. And Carol, we're going to just kind of jump back and forth like this. So
Okay.
whenever you feel like you want to share, and if anybody is in this that wants to be able to put something in the chat box and share, or you just want to verbally share, since this is a small group, feel free to do that. So we have Thalia and Risa with us. So let's get started. I want to have Carol share a little bit about herself. We know that she is the money.
Yes, there I am, enjoying prosperity. And so I'm a nurse and a wellness practitioner, and I've been in the wellness industry for most of my career. I love to teach people about how to be healthy, but I also like to coach them as well. And not only am I passionate about wellness and about having a prosperous business, I actually have had 5 different businesses so far. I'm called a serial entrepreneur. But that's the kind of personality I have, is that I like to start things and run things and then move on to something else. So all of that ties in with why we're talking about prosperity and how you can do that for yourself based on how you view your lifestyle and what you want to achieve. So I've had a good time making money.
Yeah. And my name is Barbara Badalotti, and I too have had several businesses. I started in 1984 and realized that nobody was hiring me in the wellness profession because it was just kind of starting. And so I created Alive and Well, which was a corporate wellness business in 1986. And I incorporated then, and I went on to train over 500 fitness instructors. I did all kinds of biometric screenings for companies. I had a staff where we did various different lifestyle programs, as well as the screenings, and providing negotiating power with third-party administrators and health insurance companies, so that we could already start to work with companies and bringing their healthcare costs down, or at least containing them. So I did that for 20 some years, as well as continuing fitness industry, as well as moving that into more mind-body practices, including a couple of yoga studios. I had been teaching yoga for several decades as well. And so I've done this whole business in wellness, and then continued with life coaching, health coaching, and realized now, moving to Seattle 2 years ago, that there is so much wisdom and knowledge and insight and mistakes that I've made, that I am able to now mentor other entrepreneurs, solopreneurs that are interested in doing their own business that they love, but not really quite sure how to do marketing and business and promoting and all the things that we need to learn to be able to juggle it all and still be able to have balance and a life and the financial means that we want, so that we can do and have and be all the things that we desire. So Carol and I were talking about this because we really have been friends since probably about 10 years. Would you say, Carol?
Maybe even more.
Maybe even more, because we met
Yep.
at the National Wellness Institute, and then we met through Dr. Christiane Northrup. And so we've helped each other throughout the years in up-leveling. We both practice law of attraction. We both do certain rituals and practices and do a lot of reading, and have also slipped and fell many times and helped each other to stay up-leveled. So we decided to do this, so we'll tell you a little bit more. We wanted to know from all of you, if you can type in the chat box or just chime in, you're still on the audio, is why do you want more money? And we use prosperity in reference to money. So does anybody want to share? There's got to be a why. There always has to be a why, because that's what fuels the desire to make changes. So you can go to the retreat in November. That's right. Absolutely. The Bliss Retreat in Genevieve. Yes, November 10th through the 15th. Absolutely. Okay, Risa, you're already going to be there. I already have been planning on it.
Good, me too.
Yeah. Security. Yes, Thalia, right?
Yep.
Feeling secure, not having to worry, and
Right.
security.
You know, I always say money, and this was from one of my mentors, and she just said money just makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes things easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like greasing the skids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I had some car trouble years ago, and I remember it made it easier to repair it because I had the money. So you're right. You know, it doesn't mean your problems are going to go away. It just means that you have another viable solution to make it easier to take care of those problems.
Right.
Thalia, can you share any more, even audio, with your audio, of what security means to you?
I guess just having not just enough to scrape by or pay the bills, but, you know, enough to travel and do things that you want to do and the things that make life fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe even having the security of knowing that there's $10,000 in your savings account. So again, if there's something that comes up, you have a way to take care of it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Carol, what about you?
Well, you know what I feel is when I have, at the moment that I have enough money or more than I really need, it's kind of cool. You know, my body relaxes more, and I feel like life is good again. So I know that I want that feeling all the time. So that's another reason why I want more money, is so I can have that feeling of, and it is security, yes, but it also is a more relaxed feeling.
Yeah.
The stress is down. I don't have to worry. And that to me is gold. You know, if I can feel comfortable and relaxed all the time, I'm doing well, because that's how I value, you know, I value that feeling a lot. So when there's enough money, life is good.
How does that relaxation transfer or translate into other areas of your life?
Well, of course, then the focus is not then on, oh my gosh, I don't have enough, or where will I get the next dollar, or whatever that feeling is. I don't have to stress anymore about that. So then I look beyond it, because that would have been pulling me into that one thought process and a negative space. So if that's taken care of, then my horizons expand, and I feel better, and I see things, and I want to do things, and actually then it's like I can tackle anything. I can start planning for something like the trip, like going to your blissful retreat, you know, because otherwise I'm singularly focused. And this way, when money is not an issue, I'm other focused, and then the world is my oyster, so to speak. Then I can do anything I want.
Yeah, and I was immediately, when you told me that, I was thinking like sleeping better, you know, having more relaxed conversations with people. You know, enjoying my work, not because I have to make a buck. So that's, you know, to me, that's what that relaxation feels like. It translates then into my relationships. I have, you know, my time is used differently when I'm relaxed. So yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's all good self-care. I mean, then I'm not stressing, so now I really do say, okay, now I can take care of myself, which is kind of silly, because it really should be do self-care when you aren't feeling very good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that will make you feel better.
Yeah. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
So when you think about money, let's just segue into that. So when you think about money, the feelings, some of the things that I came up with and we actually, you and I were talking about this, we came up with a lot more, but I just want to hear from everybody. When you think about money, what comes up for you? Or maybe the lack of money or prosperity. So I get this feeling in my gut, like I'm scared, and it almost is a primal survival feeling, and it's so illogical. I mean, because I look around, I'm like, I have a place to stay tonight, I have plenty of food to eat, but there's this deep primal fear that comes up, like I'm going to be homeless. That's what happens when I think about not having enough money. And let's rephrase that too. When you think about not having enough money, what comes up for you? And then we'll talk about when you do think about having lots of money, what comes up for you. Does anybody want to jump in?
I guess thinking about not having money brings up worry and fear.
Mm-hmm. Carol, Risa?
Yeah, for me, it's my initial reaction is fear, and I'm just I'm tensed, and then I always remember. I mean, I've been able to train myself to say, wait a minute, like you said, Barbara, I have a roof over my head, I have groceries, food, I have good work. I start kind of ticking off the things that I'm not going to be homeless because I have this. And I have been there before. I have been down to my last dime, and I'm still alive. So I'm not dying. I think that's what I try to do then is just instead of falling into that pit, just say, okay, wait a second. Let's reevaluate this. You have all these things. You're okay. And let's just move forward. So, but I do know that it's like you said, Barbara, it is a primal thing. It is internal. It is fear, big time, scared, and that doesn't feel very good at all.
Yeah.
So that's really how I go right to that too. I do that.
I would say too, I get frustrated because there's so many things that maybe I want to do or I want to move forward. And then if I don't receive, a certain amount of income that allows for me to purchase whatever, that can be frustrating for me, which then sometimes leads into anger. Like, damn it, I'm worth, I'm worth it and everything. I know these things. So sometimes I have a tug of war. Sometimes that will move into things that are unpleasant, like, again, in my communication to certain people, I may not be as centered or relaxed and clear because I'm distracted by what I don't have. So
right.
How do you all feel? I wish I could flip the slide. Maybe I'll just delete these. How do you feel when you have a lot of money? Just give me some feeling words.
Secure.
Here we go again. Yeah, we kind of talked about these, right? Already, right? Secure, ease, relaxed.
I would say when you're when you're stressed about money, especially when you're an entrepreneur, because it can change with one client, right, or two clients, and so it's kind of like this up and down thing. But when you're super stressed, it's like it puts up these energetic shields because you're stressed. And so when you have money, it helps you, or at least it helps me be better able to receive. So things actually come to me easier because I'm not stressed about them.
How about allow?
Mm-hmm.
Or allow, or, I think that word ease too.
Mm-hmm.
You just like kind of easy breezy, everything comes to you.
Yeah.
You're more open. Okay, good. Anybody else before we move on? The reason why Carol and I talked about doing to go into the feelings is because that really is the driver. We're going to talk a lot about and help you reprogram and really pay attention to everything from your languaging to the subconscious to the stories that you have written and believe about money and your life and all of that. And it is an ongoing practice. But what we realize is that underneath all of that is how you feel. And how you feel is then also what creates manifestation, the physical desires that you want coming to fruition. So that's why we wanted to talk about that, because just like we're going to have you be really heightened about your thoughts and the words that you say, because it's like sending the energy out into the universe, it's declaring your truth, whatever that truth is, whether I'm scared that I'm, not going to pay my rent this month or whatever, to everything comes to me with ease and joy. I receive, I'm open. The universe provides for me. I'm always provided for. Those all have feelings behind them. And that's a really important piece of this process. So we wanted to make sure that we could heighten those. But we are going to talk about what you're going to get from this 4-week course, besides just feeling it and working on the thought process. So Carol, you want to dive in and share a little bit with what they're going to get?
Yeah, actually, we have a 4-week course, so we have it broken down into segments for you, and we're going to go deep into some of the things that might be stopping you from being prosperous. So we are going to be talking about reprogramming, because that's really, you can keep on going, but if you don't stop some of those thoughts that are standing in your way, then you're not getting anywhere. So we're not really brainwashing you, I want to say that. We'll be reprogramming. And then we're going to have you, what's going to happen is you're going to transform yourself, and you're going to start manifesting things. Because Barbara and I have done a lot of manifesting using the strategies that you're going to learn in this course. And they are powerful, and they pay off in dollars and other things. So then we also want to bring forward a lot of resources that you can rely on, because, when we finish, you want to be able to go back to these resources and continue your journey. And then finally, we provide you the support that you need, because we're both coaches, and we know what it takes to become successful. And I also know that when you have a coach, you will be much more successful than you are when you're going by yourself. And so this is kind of how we want to structure it. We really want to give you some opportunities to really, truly change and refocus and reprogram what's happening for you right now.
Mm-hmm. And I want to talk a little bit about transformation, because just the fact that you're here, that you showed up, already things will start to transform for you. Just from that commitment of spending some time and focus here. Again, even if you're just listening, that starts to move the energy in the direction that you want. And the other thing too I want to say about support is that we're all supporting one another, and we're doing it with love and compassion, even though sometimes I kick people's asses, like Risa. Lisa kicks my ass sometimes. It's like, did you just say that? No, stop that. Reprogram that. So as long as we know that we care about one another, and that we want the best for one another, and that we can support one another, and again, I found this proverb to be meaningful in that, if you just read a book, you might remember some things. Or if you are shown something, again, you might take some of it and apply it, and it may work. But involving yourself and really committing to these 4 weeks, July 11th through the August 1st, as far as the live sessions, or listening to the recording, and then doing the practices in between the weeks. And we're going to have some really cool things that you're going to get to do and come back and to the class with. That's what's going to really make the change, right? It's your commitment, and then you're also applying it and practicing the techniques, and then making sure that we're supporting you and being able to make your jump forward. So does anybody have any questions or anything on that? All right. So Carol and I meditated for a long time.
Here we are.
Yep. This is what we came up with. So as Carol said, heightening awareness. All change starts with awareness. And if there's subconscious things going on, obviously you're not going to be conscious of it or aware of it. So bringing those things to the surface, and then also doing the type of programming that we know through EFT and slowing the brain waves down to that beta theta state so that your subconscious will take in this new information, and then also NLP and some other techniques. So being also aware of the conscious beliefs, your stories, the things that you started to believe because somebody told you that when you were younger, and then now they say a belief, I think I heard this from Louise Hay actually when I did the training, a belief is just something that you've been thinking over and over and over again. So if you have a certain thought that you have been programmed when you didn't know in that 0 to 7-year-old age, you look at Bruce Lipton talking about that brain that's being conditioned, and you were told things or shown things or experienced things when your brain was developing. You have been using those patterns your whole entire life. And you're wondering, why can't I break through this pattern? So we're going to show you how you break through that subconscious story and belief and move it into a new brain neurotransmission of your chemical transmission too. And then we talked about feelings already, really important part of this. And then actually applying some of the new patterning, actions, behaviors that are going to, again, start that new pathway. And then because we've been living a certain way for decades, perhaps, there's going to be relapse. And that's the beautiful thing. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to slip again. I'm going to slip again. But each time you're going to be able to get up faster. You're going to catch yourself quicker. You're going to make changes right away. And again, that's part of the commitment. That's part of also having the support. That's part of also showing up every week. So, and then there's lots of other resources we're going to give you as well so that you can, again, move through this faster and be able to keep it for long term. And then show you, we want to model for you and support and guide you. Does anybody have anything on that?
I love the picture.
I know. It was in the Buddha, what was it, Buddha?
The Buddha booth.
The Buddha
booth. The Buddha
right.
booth, yes.
So these Buddha booths are going into companies so that people can't really take a nap, but you still need to be able to be productive and have some time to meditate and be quiet and breathe and rejuvenate. And so we saw this at the wellness conference and we took a picture, but I am thinking Microsoft and Amazon and Starbucks, I think I need to just go bring this to all these companies here in Seattle. So
I think so, don't you? Yes.
So we want to give you the logistics, the dates, like I said, July 11th, 18th, 25th, and then also Wednesday, August 1st. And the recording, the sessions will be recorded. Those are the times. I think it's 6 p.m. to 6:45 Central Time. Thalia, are you in Mountain Time?
Yes, Mountain Time.
Okay, so, and are you the same as Pacific right now?
Right now we are, yeah.
That's kind of goofy. I don't get that.
Okay.
Okay. So those are for the live calls. And then to register, you would just go to my website. I'm going to show you a screenshot of where that will be. It's $160, or you can email me. And I love this quote, where the heart is willing, it will find 1,000 ways. Where it is unwilling, it will find 1,000 excuses. So if you find any excuses coming up, or, oh, I can't do it, just notice that's part of your brain that's saying, let's play small, let's keep you here because you're safe. It thinks you're safe living from scarcity, but it only thinks that because that's all it's known. It doesn't know any different. So as we start to build those new neurotransmitters with new information and cleaning out that subconscious that has had those old thoughts, then your brain is like, oh, okay, she's still going to be safe, even though we're going to start to think and behave in new ways. So just notice if that's starting to come up for you, because that's what's going on. So as far as registering, it will be the blissfulbusinessmentorship.com. And what you'll do is you'll just work with me, click on group programs. You'll see the group program that's for this, and just it'll take you to PayPal and you can pay for it. And then I will send you the private Zoom link and phone number. It won't be this one. It'll be a private one. So what about you? We're just curious to know how you're feeling, if anything's coming up, what you're thinking. Does anybody want to jump in?
I'm excited for the program.
Thank you. We're excited to have you. It's amazing. So Carol and I have been working on this and practicing it ourselves. And so Carol brought up this one exercise called E2. What's it called, Carol?
E square, E squared, E square.
Yeah, and it's really fun because, and it's great to be able to have the support with one another and again with the group, because we do it, and then within 24 hours, it's supposed to be 48 hours, but like within 24 hours, we're calling each other saying, oh my gosh, this just happened, you know?
Yeah, it's amazing. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the power of presenting an idea that you really believe you deserve and want, and just expecting it. And because we don't do that. And when we do practice things like that, money shows up. Prosperity shows up. And in fact, it's important. I think one of the important points to remember is when prosperity shows up, it may not just be money. It may be another form of prosperity. So we have to look at, say, wait a minute, it's not dollars, but it was this. And that's okay too, because what you're doing, your thoughts are changing and you're attracting. We use the law of attraction a lot. For getting what we want, as they say, get what you want.
And
so,
also gratitude.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to do, before we hang up, we're going to do a little gratitude exercise that we want you to take with you right away. This is an example of what we're going to be sharing. But I do believe that gratitude, for instance, somebody came to town to visit and I met them for lunch and they paid for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, you know, that was prosperity. And that evening when I wrote in my gratitude journal, it was like, not only was I grateful to get to see them again and have the conversation and have the freedom in my life to be able to go to lunch, to, you know, to be able to drive there to get there, but then they gifted me with lunch.
Nice.
So yeah, so the Carol's right. Prosperity comes in lots of different ways. And we also decided not to call this abundance. We wanted to call it prosperity. Abundance, you could have like a lot of bunnies running around in your yard. So one of my healers was talking about, be very mindful about your words and maybe choose prosperity instead of abundance. But abundance is good too. So, but that's why we chose that. So anything else coming up for you, Risa or Thalia, or anybody else that's listening to this?
Yeah, it sounds really good.
Good. Excellent. So let me also, Carol, should we do the little gratitude thing right now?
Sure, go ahead.
Let's do
Absolutely.
it. Okay, so everybody stand up if you can. I have a standing desk, so I'm like, so you're just going to put your hands together in Anjali Mudra or prayer pose. And this is, I mean, you've all done this before, probably just, or you've seen it done before. And so you're just going to keep your hands to your heart center. And then you're just going to bow from the hips and then inhale and come back up and exhale and bow. And I want you to maybe close your eyes. And as you bow and you breathe, move into the awareness of what you're grateful for. Few more breaths, a few more bows. What you're grateful for. And let it really move into your heart. One more. Good. Take a breath, maybe gently open your eyes. Good. So one of the things that Carol and I want to offer is our deep dive. And Carol is he's way down there in the corner.
There I am.
The balls there. So we want to offer anybody that is listening to this before we start the series, but you could jump in anytime during the series as well. But we wanted to offer this to you so that if there is anything coming up mentally, or you want to work on anything before you start the course, or even during the course, we are both gifting a deep dive session. Mine are usually $350 for 45 minutes for a one-up. So, and Carol, I don't know if you want to share what you offer, but we have our emails there, and we would love to be able to work with you and support you and up-level you.
Yes, absolutely. And I hope that you will take advantage of that, because if you're already on this journey as we are now, that this is just going to just make it a richer experience when you can go ahead and work with someone like us, because we have been through this. We have life experiences. We are seasoned professional coaches, and going into a deep dive is a perfect way to really kind of shed all of that stuff that you're carrying and just move into this newness of what you want to do in your life when it comes to prosperity. So
Yeah.
I encourage you to take advantage of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we might even throw you in a ball pit. We're not sure.
I know. It looks kind of fun, wasn't it?
It was fun.
We did a lot of laughing, yes.
Yes. So I'm going to put the slide back up, and if anybody has any other questions or anything they want to share or comment on, we're still open to that. We still have a little bit of time. All right. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Speaking of gratitude, thank you for being here, and we look forward to continuing to serve and support you. And thank you, Carol.
Yes, thank you, Barbara. Wonderful working with you.
Yeah, and we look forward to working with all of you in the near future and being on the Prosperous Money Mindset series.
Great.
All right. Have a good day, everyone. Much love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.